So going back a wee bit, so you said mentally that you were kind of, the mindset was changing that. How was your mental health like through that? Was that something that you struggled with, or was it, do you just mean you were losing faith in the...
No, I'd struggled, like, I would say struggle would be maybe a strong word. I'd went through 2 wee bouts of like clinical depression, like where I'd went to the doctor and kind of got medicated. Well, I had the first time I never went to the doctor. I kind of went to my big brother and spoke about it, like, and like he gave me some great advice. And like the minute I spoke about it,
you felt the
relief. The relief came, but that had been lingering on for a while, and like it came to a head one night at a party, and I was like, I've got everybody here I love, and
you're still not feeling good.
I would rather be anywhere else.
You feel lonely.
And I can remember it was my wee brother's 21st, and like I left just to go home. Like I had a flat at the time. I just no, like
something's
not
not right.
Great. Like, I'm just a bit flat. I'm just got to go home, and went home, and I just kind of sat like in a dark room with the telly on, just kind of switched off. It was like at the time when Conor McGregor was at his peak, so one of his press conferences were on, and I'd usually be like hyped up and into it, and like it was massive on the McGregor saying, and I was just kind of sitting there like watching it, just flat, deep behind the eyes, and like thinking about nothing, feeling nothing. I was like, I just turned it off and went to bed. And then it was actually the next day, went to football. Like me and my brother played in the same team at the time, played, come home, was getting ready for a night out, and kind of took over with that nothingness again. And I was like, went into my big brother and kind of explained how I was feeling, and like broke down. And he like put an arm around me, kind of gave me great advice, and for then it lifted, and I built on it. It went away for a few years, then it kind of come back with, I want to say a vengeance, but it come back maybe a wee bit stronger.
Harder.
And I'm a more of an adult. I was in
more responsibilities.
I was in a relationship at the time, and it was really having an effect on that, and it was having an effect on like my work life, and like I then never trained for like 3 weeks, and it just intensified. And I still to this day attribute a lot of the issues that I had with my mood was purely because I wasn't getting to the gym. I wasn't getting that outlet. I wasn't feeling myself, and like never had that confidence.
Yeah.
And it was actually came to a head in the day before Christmas Eve, and again just kind of broke down to a couple of people. And my mum's like, you need to go see a doctor. So I went to see the doctor on Christmas Eve, get put on an antidepressant called sertraline, and again it was like, for that moment, as soon as I kind of faced up to it and like spoke to a doctor, spoke to my parents,
you left feeling better.
Like the feeling totally lifted,
like, wow.
And I was like, I feel good. And then like my mum was obviously concerned about me, and she would speak to me every day, and I was like, honestly, I feel good. Like I feel like I don't need to go on these pills anymore. Because I hadn't, like, it wasn't like I went to the doctor and said, all right, here, there's tablets. It's like, right, we'll assess you, go away for 2 weeks, come back after the new year, we'll assess you again, and then we'll come up with like a...
Oh, was it? Right.
So it was a plan of action. So I went to my GP, spoke to him. He's like, what we'll do is we'll set up another appointment in a week or 2 weeks' time.
See how you feel then.
And we'll see how you feel, see what's changed in your life and stuff like that.
They tell you to do anything? Was there any advice or anything like that?
No, that I can remember. I'd be lying if I said they gave me any concrete advice. I think he'd just had a conversation about being open, and
that barrier of telling someone.
And like he asked me about my personal life, relationships and stuff like that, and like the only thing you can be like when you're like confessing or like speaking about something like that is being 100% honest with it, because if you're not, then
what's the point?
The treatment you receive back has got to be shite, because it isn't accurate to what your situation is. So done that, and like come out my relationship, and went back and spoke to him, and I was like I'm sad, but I feel like better mentally because I'm now speaking about my feelings and everything. He's like, well, I think these antidepressants will definitely help. Went on them, but again,
was it a breakup you were going through that you think enhanced this, or do you think it was just
no? I think
a mixture of everything.
I think it's hard to say, because it's like whether they fed into each other or one was the cause. Like I don't know. I think it just wasn't an ideal scenario, to be honest. And it needed to happen. Like it definitely needed to happen. So whether it was the cause or the effect, I think you could be here talking about it all day. It's like,
back and forth.
It's
Ping
happened.
pong.
In fact, it's happened. And,
like it happened, and I dealt with it better, and because I was more open with how I was feeling, and spoke to several different people, and just kind of like it was. Don't get me wrong, it was a tough experience, but it kind of made me.
Yeah.
And then went on the antidepressants, and what I never felt like I don't know how you're meant to feel on them,
Aye.
but it wasn't like, oh, I need my pill, and I take your pill, and you're like, oh, that's me, I'm happy again. It was like I felt like I'd reached a point mentally just by talking about it for that intense 2 weeks. I felt so much better, but like I knew it was the right thing to do. To just kind of give it the full course and like take every action on it. So
of course.
I done it, and like I think I was on them for the way it started is I think I was on maybe 2 pills a day, then that goes down to 1 pill a day, then it goes to a pill every other day, and like you gradually wean off.
Right.
Like it doesn't always work like that, but with me, because I'd felt such a relief for just talking about it, like I felt I was open to the treatment, and I felt great straight away.
Where did you at this point? Is this before or after PT?
So this is when I was 29, 2020.
Right, so the exact
it was
time.
just going into 2020.
Right.
I think it was like second week in January or something I started.
Right.
It's funny, it sounds
again,
like both you guys PT saved.
Aye.
PT was a turning point.
Aye.
But I think it came for like a lot of introspection, like just kind of looking in and seeing where the issues lay. And it was like, oh, was it my relationship? Was it my job? And I think it was just kind of a cocktail of things. And like kind of standing up and just going, this isn't what I want to do. And I'm not the person I want to be, and then making the changes. Like I think everything kind of fed into it rather than it being, oh, the job made me. I think it was just more just looking in for a bit and just seeing, like, I've got a lot of...
Who do you want to be, and are you happy?
I've got a lot of behaviours I need to fix, and right across all my life, all my relationships and working. Like I wasn't a bad guy by any stretch of the imagination. It was just like there was a couple of wee issues. Like
could be better.
Could be better. So, and becoming a PT, I felt like making that decision. It wasn't like, oh, that will make me a good person. It was like I was making a positive decision. I was taking action. And I felt really good off the back of it, and like it just went from strength to strength. And
that's
like,
amazing.
But it's like a great experience. Like it sounds daft, but going through struggles like that, I've found to have helped. Like,
you hear it time and time again, don't you? And I can imagine someone who's in the darkness and the shit show of whatever's going on in their life. Them hearing that, it's like, aye, but it fucking sucks now. So what would your advice be to those people kind of going through it?
So I would. Firstly, I would say, like, I wasn't like really in the depths of it. I was struggling. Like I was, and it was like everybody's form of darkness is different, and I was just kind of like struggling with my mood and keep my mood consistent and self-confidence and like knowing where I stood. And I've really held the gym in high regard, and like I'd came away from that, and like I previously said, like
makes it worse.
I attribute a lot to my struggle to like just kind of letting the gym go by the wayside, because that is what was my crux. It made me feel good, and it gave me the confidence, because I was a skinny wee guy, never had any confidence. Started doing a couple of bicep curls, and I actually feel quite good about myself, and like feel like I've got a lot to offer. Like I wasn't massively insecure when I never went to the gym, but when I went to the gym, it gave me this.
You carry yourself, and
you carry yourself a wee bit better.
Comes with swag.
T-shirts on the hanging after you, all the rest of it. Like, because before I started the gym, I was a skeleton with a skin graft. It was like incredibly fun, and I've just kind of built for that. But my advice in terms of if you're going through like tough times is obviously easy to say, is just like speak to it, like find a confidant, whether that's somebody you know or like a doctor. It's just like for me, just kind of admitting it definitely helped.
Had you ever really spoke about anything like that before that time?
So only to my brother. Like,
is that the only person you confided in?
Like my big brother would be my first protocol. Like I can always speak to my parents, but my first protocol would always be my big brother. Like he's been like my idol, like my full life. Like and pardon me, that's no slant on my wee brother, but as his big brother, I'm meant to be the role
It's
model
like,
for him.
him,
My big brother's a role model for me. And my wee brother's a wee bit more mental than the both is. So
it's always the last child, isn't it?
Poor Edward, so he's a character. And I was like, maybe don't think he'll get the solid emotional advice like I need. Now, like he's a man, and like I could fall on him, but at the time, I think
You better shut up, your
very
dafty.
very first time I spoke to my big brother, I was like 24, 25, so I was still a wee guy, and he was a man. So like I'd always like speak to my big brother about emotions and stuff like that. I've never really been like kind of toxically masculine. In that sense, like I've never really.
That was going to be a question I had for you. Was there any, like, did you feel any guilt or shame in any of this, or like, or is that always you've been kind of raised?
Like so, it kind of comes from my mum and dad. Like,
that's good.
You talk to each other.
And my dad, like my mum and dad, have always been like incredibly supportive, and my dad's big on like unconditional positive reinforcement, like, and where that is, if you do something bad, it's like just look for the good in it. It's like, and like so he was my football coach growing up, and he would always encourage us, like as daft as it is, he would encourage us to try things. If it doesn't come off, it happen. If it does come off, think how good that would be. So it's like comes from that point of view, where my dad would always encourage us to do whatever we wanted. If we wanted to go into ballet dancing, he would have been all for it. Like it's like no matter what,
doesn't matter.
Just go for it.
I like that.
So like for an emotional side of things, like I've never been like, oh, I can't really speak about that. But again, it comes from upbringing, like sharing a house with a supportive mum and dad and two brothers. I think you need to be a wee bit emotionally aware. Like as much as you're not aware of it, like when you're a wee guy, you need to take your brother's emotions into consideration. Whether that's like it comes down to like basic decisions like sharing toys, playing computer games with them. It's like you don't realise it at the time, but it's kind of teaching you
life lessons,
emotional intelligence, and like the fact like you need to take other people's emotions into consideration. So like when it came to speaking about it, it's like it's just getting over that speed bump of talking about it, and then you're fine.
The first time you do it is always the hardest, especially if you're not used to it. Like a lot of guys struggle with that, speaking about anything like that. Like that deepness is like they're like, oh, it's not even the shame or guilt. Sometimes it's just like I don't really know.
You're no like
I don't really know.
You're no educated in
how
you're meant to talk about it.
I feel sad, but I don't know anything else apart from that one feeling. But it's no sad. It's this or that or that.
And it's like being able to kind of pinpoint it. Where does that emotion come from? Or it's
That. And so if you say to somebody, "Oh, I'm just sad," they're like, "Oh, just feel a bit better then." But if you can actually portray how you're feeling, the other person can go, "I can get a home with that. I can listen." But a lot of guys, well, there's obviously women out there especially, but they can't say exactly how they feel, and that's why it stays so bottled up.
And the key thing there, like you're saying, is having someone that you can open up with. I think that's the thing that catches most guys out. I think especially the older you get, because your friend circle dwindles, and you don't have that like you're lucky you got brothers and stuff like that, and stuff like that as well. But I
haven't mentioned my pals, but again, like I've got a solid group of 4 mates who we've been pals since we were 16, and
still pals there.
I opened up to them as well, so it's like they played a massive role in it and I know how lucky I'm, and we're all very like-minded. We come from similar kind of family networks, and we've got similar beliefs and lead similar lifestyles. We're all fit, so it's like speaking to them and having a circle where like these are all kind of different versions of the same person,
but you get each other.
Definitely helps. Like same sense of humour and everything like that, and like emotional intelligence, and there's no real kind of lad culture amongst us in terms of we've never been like big drinkers, like we'll go on a night out and that, but my 4 best mates going through our teenage years, the 4 of them were full-time footballers, so it's like we've always kind of led that.
There's emphasis on performance and sport and that.
I'm just a wee scuddy that isn't a full-time footballer.